So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and in this video I'm going to be talking about George Kambosos and his latest performance against Jake Wyllie, which took place on the weekend. Now this was George Kambosos' first time stepping up to 140 pounds, and he took on Jake Wyllie, which was a replacement because he was meant to be fighting another person, obviously, who pulled out due to injury. Forgot the person's name, but anyhow, we're going to be talking about the fight. Now, overall, I thought the first few rounds, watching George Kambosos, he looked sharp, looked poised, looked motivated, and looked very, very good. I was thinking, Jesus, is this like the rebirth of George Kambosos? And then as the fight went on, and he went past 4 rounds, and then it went into 5 and 6 and 7 and so on, you could see the old George Kambosos coming back through, where he looked stuck. He looked as if he ran out of ideas and that he just didn't really know what to do because his opponent was having some success. And it's quite weird because honestly, anyone who was watching that fight from round one and round two, and you were thinking this ain't gonna maybe go past round 3 or 4 because he's gonna stop this guy. He's too good for for this guy, too quick, too sharp, too poised. But honestly, he just fell back into his old bad habits as the fight went along, and in the end, obviously the scorecards were what it was. But I just felt that he just about edged past Jake Wyllie. I don't feel as if he looked far supreme. You know what I mean? He didn't look like or should have been the dominant fighter in there. He just looked quite average, to be fair. Kambosos in the end, after that very, very good sharp start. But it is what it is. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it could just be his first fight at 140, and maybe he's just still trying to get used to the weight. I'm not too sure, but let's see what happens. He's ranked number 3 in the IBF. That's his best ranking, and I think, is it WBA or WBC? He's ranked number 9. So let's see what happens. I think in the IBF currently, Matthias is ahead of him, but let's see what happens because Richardson Hitchens, so it is the main man in the IBF, so he could potentially maybe fight Matthias or potentially go back to Kambosos. We don't really know, but yeah, interesting performance from Kambosos, and he obviously wants to set himself on the world title hunt, and being third in the IBF, it's a no-brainer, I'd probably say. Whereas with the other organisation that he's with, I think it's WBA, WBO, or maybe WBC, one of them three. I know he's ranked number 9 in one of those other governing bodies, but it's a case that there's a lot more fighters ahead of him. So he may have to have another 1 or 2 more fights before he could creep up those rankings as well. But yeah, it's good to see him back. He's obviously probably the biggest name in Australian boxing to date. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens with George Kambosos. You've obviously got Teofimo in the super lightweight division. You've got Jack Catterall, who's coming off a loss, sorry, to Kambosos Jr. You've got Devin Haney in there. You've got Ryan Garcia floating around that weight at maybe 147 as well. Josh Taylor, Matthias, as I said earlier, Liam Parrow. You've also got Dalton Smith, Adam Azim. You know what I mean? There's some good names in this division, and there's some big potential fights there for George Kambosos, but he's not a young pup compared to Jake Wyllie, who he fought. Wylie's, what, 24? So even though he lost to George Kambosos, he could potentially come again as well, because that was only his second loss, I believe. Whereas Kambosos has already got 3 losses on his record. He's obviously moved up to a new weight division and he's 31 years of age. So let's wait and see. I do believe he could potentially get a world title shot in this weight division, but I'm just not sure if he's good enough to potentially beat maybe the champions that are there, or maybe some of the up and coming fighters that are in that division as well. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How did you see this fight? Are you like me? Do you think it was quite a disappointing performance after a great start from George Kambosos? Or do you think that maybe it was just his first fight at that weight and he's still trying to get used to it? And who would you like him to go up against next? Would you like him to maybe take on Matthias, or maybe the champion in the IBF, Richardson Hitchens, or potentially fight against some other big name before looking for that world title shot as well? And again, he's one of these fighters that is a big name in Australian boxing. Would the fight be over there, or will he have to travel to, let's say, New York or somewhere like that, or maybe in the UK? But as always, guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Bless.